Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of Adelaide and the official launch of Orientation Week for 2013. I'd first like to acknowledge the Kaurna people, the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains and the land on which the University of Adelaide's campuses at North Terrace, Waite, Bebbington and Roseworthy are built. My name is Dave Lamb and I'm the General Manager of Student Services and Administration. This morning I have great pleasure in introducing Professor Warren Bebbington, our Vice-Chancellor and President. Professor Bebbington is the University's 20th Vice-Chancellor and has been in office since July 2012. Please welcome Professor Bebbington.
Thank you, Dave, and good morning and welcome. Today you become undergraduates. This means you become part of a quite unique organisation, and I would wager one that you will never be part of again. Most people in a few years will pass through this hall again and graduate into a life in professional partnerships or in large corporations or in public institutions. But you won't ever again be part of something quite like a university. You see, we're not governed here by a board responsible to shareholders. We're not governed here by the government. We're not governed here by owners. Our governing body, our council, is entirely self-generating, made up almost entirely of the alumni of the university itself. Essentially, fundamentally, universities are self-governing communities of scholars, dedicated to a single mission, which is the pursuit of knowledge. And they've been around since late medieval times and totally unchanging. Social organisations and governments have come and gone. We've had democracies, theocracies, plutocracies. We've had dictatorships. We've had all manner of government, and yet for nearly 1,000 years, universities have remained the same as self-governing communities of scholars dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. Intelligence is everything, new ideas are critical, and unpopular opinions are not only heard in a campus like this, but they're welcomed, they're protected. And like the ancient European universities, so here on North Terrace, the Company of Scholars has been here for nearly 140 years, dedicated to exactly the same objective, the pursuit of truth. Like our motto says, Sub Cruce Lumen, under the Southern Cross, light. Here against the dark southern skies, we shine a light of knowledge for all who are interested. We shine a light on new discoveries. Nevertheless, importantly, critically, notably, civility is essential to make this work. People who have unpopular ideas need to be heard quietly and with patience and good manners. There's no place in a university for violence, for brute force, for ill manners. We depend, for the way we operate, on civility. This university, unlike some, doesn't have a fence around it because we happen to think our interaction with the city is important. But that means from time to time people stray onto campus who don't have that commitment. Now and again you'll read in the newspaper about someone having been knifed in Rundle Mall, pursued by the police onto our campus. Someone having run onto our campus and been assaulted. Almost invariably, these are acts which do not involve us. I'm very pleased to say. We have policies in place here. We have security who are here to help you, to ensure your safety and the security of the vision that we believe in. But you need to contribute to it too and honour our standards of civility. Nevertheless, in saying we have a very serious purpose, a very noble one, it doesn't mean that all must be solemn here on campus. Universities are also noted enormously for fun. students enjoying themselves. There's a very ancient university song, Gaudiamus Igitur, written in the 12th century in Latin, and which says, Gaudiamus Igitur, juvenes dum sumus, post jucundum juventutem nos habitat humus, which means, loosely, have fun, rejoice while you're young, because in a moment old age will come and we will be in the grave. Typical black, macabre humour of a Renaissance song. But an important point nevertheless. This campus is filled with clubs and societies, activities of all kinds, and I encourage you to go down towards the river, look at our union, the historic cloisters, go across that bridge on the Torrens where our boat club is and see the sporting fields on the other side where a whole multiplicity of sporting activities take place. It's important you take part in all that because that too is part of life in a university. And finally, it's important to note that this week and in the next few weeks, the people you meet will have an astoundingly important role to play in your lives. Today I have, in my profession, a circle of professional connections right around the world, people I can call at any time and who've been hugely useful to me as I've gone through my professional life, all of whom I met in my first weeks at university, who stuck it out through the same course as I. My very best friend, a professional colleague, but also a very dear person in my life, I met in orientation week when I sat where you are now 43 years ago. So it's important, the people you meet, the friendships you make. As Gaudiamus Igitur says, vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat membra quaelibet, semper sint in flores, which means long live the university, long live its professors, long live the undergraduates. May they flourish forever. Amen to that.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. It's now with great pleasure that I welcome our guest speaker this morning, the 2012 Sportsman of the Year, Matthew Cowdrey, OAM. During the 2012 London Games, Matt became the most successful Australian para-Olympian. He achieved 13 gold medals with 23 medals in total. Matt is currently a student of the University of Adelaide. He completed media studies last year and is continuing with his law studies this year. Please make him feel welcome.
Look, thank you. It's great to be here this morning. I'll add my welcome to the Vice-Chancellors as well. And really, I just want to give you a bit of an idea of what university life is like here on campus and a little bit of a story and a backstory of how I've gotten involved with the university over the years as well. And I guess I made my way here to the University of Adelaide as a little bit of a lucky accident, really. I going out of high school, was originally going to head into the journalism field. That was the direction I wanted to go, but having been coaxed into it by one of my English teachers at school, I ended up applying for the law and double degree here with media as my first selection through the SATAC, and I probably did a little bit better in the Year 12 TER than I expected, and I ended up here, and I definitely have no regrets about that whatsoever. I've really enjoyed my time here. I think I'm just about the longest tenured undergraduate here at the moment. I think I've been here this is my 7th or 8th year in my undergrad degree, so please don't hold that against me. It's been a long time in between. I've both been here in Adelaide, through Canberra at the Institute of Sport, and then up in Brisbane swimming as well. So I haven't quite been here on campus for 7.5 years, but we're getting there. And look, it's been a tough time for me, especially trying to balance both elite sport and university studies as well. It's quite a difficult thing for us, spending the hours that we do, 8 to 10 sessions a week in the pool, 3 or 4 gym sessions on top of that, and a few other bits and pieces around balancing that with university studies. But to be honest, there's a lot more flexibility here at university than there has been previously in a school life. To be there from 9 to 3 and fit things outside of that is actually quite difficult. But here, having the flexibility that you do have with timetabling has made things a lot easier. I think the reason they asked me to talk today is probably because I've been to more Oweeks than just about anybody else here at the university over the last couple of years, so I know what makes a bad university Oweek welcome, and I know what makes a good one, so hopefully I can make this a little bit enjoyable for you. But the university, I guess, is really involved with me. I've been here for 10 years, and growth really is very evident this year. You can see that around the place, around the campus, with the buildings that we've developed over the last few years. The new hub building, which is fantastic, the new engineering building, and Union Hall just being demolished a couple of years ago, and a new building going up there as well. That also translates over to the other side, and what I've been all about, which is the Paralympics. And to see that growth since I've been involved in the last 8 to 10 years has been astounding as well. In Athens, I was 15, and that was my first games, and I'm guessing that none of you guys even saw coverage of those games. It was on SBS at midnight for about 30 minutes, and that was the highlight package. So to be a part of how that's grown from Athens through to Beijing and now to London, that was a pretty amazing thing for me to be involved in, to see the progression of the sport, to see how people responded to these games, and to see how Australia got behind our teams was really, really quite fantastic. But we as elite sports people, we need world-class support from world-leading institutions. The Institute of Sport in Canberra and state sports institutes that are at the forefront of research and support services, providing athletes with sports science, psychology, nutrition, performance analysis, strength and conditioning, and many, many other things. And similar to that, this university is a world-class institution and one of the world and the country's top research universities. But those support services are here as well. You can never go anywhere on campus without having the ability to have access to whether it be counselling, whether it be career advice, whether it be help with what subjects you need. And I implore you to search those out. For me, especially being a law student, the ability that we have to connect with counsellors in what subject choices and those things that you need to do to go to the direction that you need is quite interesting and something that you really need to try and make a use of. The question that I get more than any other is what inspires me to do what I do? To get up in the morning at 4 o'clock, to jump in a cold pool and follow a black line for 10, 15 years of my life now. And it really is a pretty simple answer. And that really comes from the teammates and the people that I have around me. I get to do a lot of things that people don't get to do. I get to travel, I get to swim in front of 20,000 people, but that isn't the thing that excites me. Being a Paralympian, we stand for different things to what the Olympics stand for. The Olympics are faster, stronger, higher. We stand for inspiring people and telling people and letting them know that you can overcome things in their life and move past that and still become an elite sports person. Two of the teammates that I really want to emphasise and point out this morning are both from Adelaide, and one's actually, in fact, a University of Adelaide student as well, and the first one's Jay Dont. Now, Jay is a swimmer. He won a bronze medal at the Paralympic Games in Beijing in the 400 freestyle, and his story really is quite amazing. And I've had a lot of time with Jay and been able to spend many, many hours in the pool training with him as well. I probably have never told him this up front, but he really is an inspiration to me. He was just a normal kid growing up, played footy, did everything like that. But between year 7 and year 8, he got sick. He contracted meningococcal disease. It's quite rare. I'm sure probably a few of you have heard of that, but basically it's a flesh-eating disease. His mum thought it was cold symptoms, took him to the hospital, and within 24 hours he'd lost both his legs below the knee and half of his hand. Within 4 years, he was back, he was swimming, and won a bronze medal at the Paralympic Games in London. And that's something I think is remarkable. To overcome something of that sort of loss and to respond in a way that it makes a positive influence on the community is something quite amazing. The second one is Grace Bowman. Now, Grace is a uni student here at Adelaide University, and if you ever see her, please go up and have a chat to her. She's a fantastic human being. But Grace's story is really quite unique. She is an equestrian athlete. She lost her mother after she fell off a horse when she was about 12 years old, and then years after that, she fell off a horse and became a paraplegic. Now, I don't know what would possess anybody to want to jump back onto a horse or become an equestrian athlete at any sort of elite level after going through what she has lost on a horse. But that's what she's done. She's been to 2 games now, and she's someone that continues to inspire me. Now, to have access to these people, and to have access to these people just on campus as well, is something that's quite significant, and something that inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing, because we stand for something higher and greater. Now, for you guys here, Adelaide Uni has its own tradition. Just as I look to my teammates for inspiration, you only have to look at the people whose footsteps you are now following for inspiration. Howard Florey, Don Dunstan, Chief Justice John Doyle, Penny Wong, Colin Teely, Andy Thomas and Helen Mayo, just to name a few, have all been trailblazers and innovators in their chosen fields. And you are now, quite essentially, their teammates. So set your goals high, and most importantly, as was pointed out earlier, have fun. The swimming pool can be a lonely place when you're by yourself following a black line, and it's the teammates that you have around you that really makes it fun, and is one of the only reasons that I'm still there at the moment as well. And just like that, uni can be quite lonely if you don't get out there, get involved, and make some friends here. So make the most of Oweek, enjoy it, get out there, and have fun, guys.
Thanks very much, Matt. Your achievements and the achievements of the people that your colleagues you referred to are truly inspiring to all of us. And I'll have the pleasure of introducing the President of the Adelaide University Union, Deanna Taylor. Deanna is your full-time student advocate on campus and is in her third year studying the Bachelor of Arts and the second year of studying the Bachelor of Laws. Please make her welcome.
Hi everybody, I'm a lot shorter than the previous speakers, so I'm just going to adjust this. Thank you to Dave and the Vice-Chancellor. As Dave said, I'm Deanna Taylor and I'm the President of the Adelaide University Union. Before I go any further, I just wanted to acknowledge once again that the land we're meeting on is the land of the Kaurna people, and I acknowledge that their land was never ceded and pay my respect to their ongoing spiritual and cultural connection between the Kaurna people and their country. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown about what the union is, because a lot of students are a bit confused about it sometimes. We're over 100 years old, so we've been around a while. We're established in 1895, and we're completely separate from the university, although we get on pretty well with them, and they're nice enough to invite us along to events like this. We are run by students for students, and our goal is to make sure that students have the best possible experience on campus. And part of that is events. So previous speakers have talked about Oweek that's happening down on the Bar Smith lawns. I'd really encourage you to go down there and have a bit of fun down there. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. We've got games, clubs, competitions. The campus culture that Adelaide is renowned for is in large part because of the union. We run events throughout the whole year. So Oweek at the beginning of the year, O-Live is next week, which is a gig that all music lovers should go along to. Sounds and Senses, band comp, World Day, there's stuff happening just about every week through the entire year. And more often than not, the union's associated with it. If you want to check out our events calendar online, you can keep an eye out for events you'd like to go along to and get involved with. Apart from the fun side of university, we are involved in a lot of student care and advocacy stuff. So student care is a service that's provided by the union, and it's down in the cloisters, and it's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you is to not be afraid to ask for help. And the best place to seek that help is student care, aside from counselling service that's provided by the university. So the student care is an independent organisation, and it's staffed by education welfare officers who are experienced in what they do, and everything is completely confidential. They're a great first port of call for if you have an issue and you're not sure exactly who to ask for help, but you know that there's something going on that you need some help with. They'll help you with any academic problems, financial problems, accommodation problems, referrals to all sorts of services. They're Centrelink extraordinaires, so they can pick up a phone and ask the people at Centrelink at any time what they can do for you and how they can get you assistance. They can guide you through the processes and policies of the university that can be quite convoluted at times and not quite accessible. And they can advocate on your behalf in matters like unsatisfactory academic progress and academic dishonesty. You're going to hear a lot about those two things, well, probably academic dishonesty more than anything else, but don't be afraid, there's always someone that can help you out. They can help you with emergency loans and grants. So if you're short on cash and you need to pay your rent and there's absolutely no way that you can get that money, go down and ask for help because they can help you out, and that's what they're there for. They have a free legal advice service, tax service, anything you can think of, they probably know what to do, and if they don't know what to do, they'll know someone who can help you. So you can email them for help. You can get a response within 24 hours. More often than not, it's less than that. And you can make an appointment with them. Never think your problem is too small or too complicated, or that you don't need help yet. The EWOs, Education Welfare Officers, have seen it all, and they're experts at what they do. It's always best to go in early before a problem gets big, and then it's out of control. Employment service is also a service that's provided by the union. The university has a careers service that's more for, what you want to do with your life when you grow up. What are you going to do when you grow up? The employment service is about getting you a job in a cafe or in a childcare centre, something like that. It's about finding casual employment. And they advertise jobs online, so go onto Life on Campus and just follow the links. They can review your resume, review your cover letters, provide you basic industrial relations advice. They offer 50% off training courses. So most places nowadays, if you want to get a job in a cafe, you need a barista training certificate or something like that, and they provide 50% off those training certificates. If you're interested in volunteering, there's a V-Connect program that runs out of the employment service, and it's a great way to help the community, but also add some valuable work referees to your resume and get some great skills and experience. They're located above student care, down in the cloisters. A good idea once you leave here is probably to just take a big wander around the campus, because it's pretty big and it's good to get yourself orientated. The Clubs Association is a really great way to get involved with stuff on campus. They have over 100 clubs. It's not sports clubs. Those are provided by Adelaide University Sport, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But they're clubs based on interests, political views, hobbies, cultural, religious groups, and there's also faculty-specific clubs. It's a great way to meet people and have a life outside of textbooks. You can create your own club if there's not already one that exists for you, or go online and find a club that you're interested in, and they're located on the ground floor of Lady Simon. So Adelaide University Sport, if you are athletically inclined, unlike me, it's probably a great way to get involved for you. Adelaide University Sport aren't here today, so I'll speak on their behalf quickly. They cater for all first-year students, from elite athletes through to social players and gym enthusiasts. There are almost 40 sports clubs to choose from, and you can check them out in the Cloisters car park from Monday to Wednesday this week. And you can sign up to a club or watch a demonstration, or join in the fun with some car park sports challenges. Some other ways you can get involved with campus life are the SRC, which is the Student Representative Council, and they're similar to us, but they play more of an activist role. They sit on a lot of committees to tell the university directly what students want and need, as well as lobby the government on student issues. So if there's something that's kind of niggling at you and you're not happy about it, it's always good to drop them a line, and they can talk to the university directly. Student media is another great way for you to get involved, and there's student radio or On D, which is the magazine that's published fortnightly, and it's been around for 80 years. So go down onto the lawns and pick up a copy of that and read along. If you're creatively inclined, you can always submit writing or artwork. They're always looking for people to submit work. The General, which is in the Hub Central, is the convenience store that's run by the union, and they provide food, drink, merchandise, basically anything that you need on campus is provided by the General. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is the union membership card. So it's probably the best investment you can make. For $25 you can get access to a lot of discounts and freebies and deals that are specifically tailored to students on and off campus. You can get free upsizes on coffees, juices and smoothies at Grassroots, discounts at Unibar, Fitness Hub, Nando's, The General, and heaps of other places. So you can join the union at The General or online. There's probably membership forms floating around on the lawns, so go down there and check that out. If you'd like more information about what we do, who we are, or who I am, go onto our website lifeoncampus.org.au, or like us on Facebook. You can email AUU President at auu.org.au if you'd like to ask me any questions or if you have any concerns or ideas about how the union can make life on campus better. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is just get involved and get engaged, because the last thing you want to do is go through 3 or 4 years of university and realise that you don't know where the uni bar is. Make sure that you're staying active and having a life outside of textbooks, because you're going to be miserable if you don't. So yeah, have a good Oweek, head down to the lawns, and don't panic too much. I promise it's not as scary as it seems. Thanks.
Thanks, Deanna. So as the Vice-Chancellor and Matt and Deanna have mentioned, there are many opportunities for you to get involved with in the university. As you leave Bonython Hall, please visit the Welcome Centre on the Goodman Lawns, where you can pick up a map and all sorts of information about what's happening this week. On the lawns at lunchtime, there's a DJ and a free barbecue, and you can collect information and freebies from the many services that are on display. Please look out for members of our welcome team. They're the people in the distinctive orange T-shirts. And if you're not a member of the welcome team, but you're wearing an orange T-shirt this week, you're going to make a lot of new friends. Throughout the semester, make good use of UniStep, which offers key workshops and as part of an extended orientation and transition opportunities for you. And you'll find more about these in the Welcome Centre and on the website. So that's it from us. On behalf of the university community, I wish you the very best in your studies and a very enjoyable Oweek.